We have a kitty that keeps trying to join us. I made the mistake of looking in her direction and touching her once. And now she's like, no, you will pet me forever and ever and ever. And every time you touch me, your earbuds are gonna pop from the static electricity on my fur. We'll be performing scheduled maintenance on Battle.net shop services beginning Thursday, March 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time until approximately 2 p.m. Pacific Time, while token services will be unavailable during this time. Okay. You bet. So, it's WoW Challenges Wednesday, you guys. We're gonna work on 3 Bloodthirsties today, because we need to get these guys spaced out. We have 5 remaining. And I probably could have gotten the other 2 ready. However, I really don't want them in Bastion with 1 level separating them, which is the deal with the Shaman and the Warrior right now. It might be 1, it might be 2. And then the Shaman and the Demon Hunter have 1 level between them. So that's gonna be a bit much for my sanity to handle. So we're gonna sit the Warrior for a little while, and we're gonna sit the Shaman for a little while. I'm thinking by the time we get the DK done, if the DK makes it, we'll pick up the Shaman and shuffle the Shaman into the deck, and we'll get a couple more levels on the Shaman, and then we'll shuffle the Warrior back in, and Warrior will be the final Bloodthirsty, and that's okay, because I don't know if they're gonna make it through Shadowlands. Right now, I'd have to say they're the one I'm the least confident about surviving. So, we'll see. We'll see. So far, they've been okay. We'll definitely have to make sure we have food with us, and they might be another situation where we're only going after moths, because they don't really have a heal. And that gore dot out there is very problematic for characters that can't heal themselves. So, you know, they might just have to go to Moth Valley and like it. But we'll see what happens with that. We're gonna start off with the Pacifist today, because we're trying to go a little early here. And we all know what happens when I try to start early on Wednesday with my internet. So we'll see if the internet behaves, but we'll also be on the Pacifist. I mean, that could have been a 1-off or a 2-off, because it did happen 2 weeks in a row. But we'll see. We'll start off with the Pacifist, because they won't be in combat, so if anything does go stupid, we should be alright. So, we have Gentle Soul. They were our pacifists that had made it to 120 and then made it to 60 after level squish. But we're going to be working on a different pacifist. We're going to be working on Down in Front. He was the pacifist that I had made during the pacifist contest that had happened some time ago now. And I just kind of let them sit there for a while, because I was like, oh, I really don't have time to work on you. And I didn't want to delete them, because, you know, they hadn't broken any rules, and I was like, well, I might get back to them. And we are back to them now. Sorry, I had something in my eye, or my eyelashes, and it was driving me fucking crazy. But so we'll start off with Down in Front. They are a pacifist challenger, which means I cannot kill anything. Even a prox kill will flag me, so I need to make sure that I'm not near too many people, which is why when he goes into Shadowlands, he will be shifted off of the live stream and into Record Town, because I will have to do him like 11-ish midnight time, and I just didn't really want to hop on stream just for that at that time of night, because I'm usually starting to get a little bit tired and I'll have music or something going while I am out gathering, just to help the time pass a little bit faster, because I doubt you guys really want to see 2 hours of me fretting trying to get around what people are out and about. I cannot do them at the time that we stream. It's too busy. There's too many people out in Bastion on my server set, and they're running every which direction. They're dragging mobs. It would be prox kill city, so we're just not gonna do that. So, but we will shift them over to Record Town so that you guys can still see it, and we'll post those recordings up on the YouTube channel under the All Things WoW Challenges playlist. Alright, yes, I'm not gonna do that quest because we decided not to go into, we decided not to stay out in Northrend. We ended up coming back here because it was a bit safer. We didn't have to dodge as many mobs, and with Crommy time on, it was kind of here or there. And while Serenite might auction house a little bit better, it's a bit safer out here, to be perfectly honest. So this is my only challenger that I have Crommy time on. I didn't even put it on the iron, because that just didn't sound like a good idea, because I can already not kill stuff anyway, so the iron's a bit of a squishy muffin, so we're just gonna have to wait for holidays to try to get them somewhere, and if we level them, we level them. So calendar says Unguro Madness starts tomorrow. Avoid Unguro. You don't want to be there for that. Trial of Style is a no-go for challengers. Do be aware, because it like puts you in a group scenario setting. So just leave that for your regulars, please. Next thing that we have coming up is probably really gonna be Dark Moon Fair on April 4th. And then we have Noble Garden starting on April 18th. Excuse me. And then Children's Week will be kicking off on May 2nd. And there's the 1,000 Boat Bash, for those that really want to fuss with that. June 6th. A Dark Moon Fair starting June 5th. And then Midsummer coming in on June 21st. So we're probably going to utilize Noble Garden as much as we can. On the iron, there's not a whole lot we can do there. I'll probably take the iron out and try to collect a bunch of eggs at one go, so that way I can just pop in real quick, turn in my eggshells, and do that daily. I probably won't be doing a bunch of the other stuff because it's just not safe. Or at least to me, it's not safe. I will be utilizing Children's Week to a degree. There's only so much that irons can do, and I'll be doing what I can with that. Like, you can take the orphan around, you just can't do like the PvP shit. So I'll be utilizing that a little bit. I doubt we'll get much out of that. The big thing, if I haven't taken my break yet, will be the middle of June when Midsummer comes in, because I do plan on taking a break, when we get the bloodthirsties done. It depends on when the bloodthirsties get done, because I've had to alter my original plan for leveling them because they got super bunched up. And the sanity can't take that level of Bastion back to back because it takes a long time. It doesn't matter the class. All of the classes have been sort of consistent on rested for the amount of hours they've been taking through there for me. So anywhere between like 8 to anywhere from like 8 to 10. Let's say 8 to 14 because some of them have taken that long. Yeah, we'll say 8 to 14 there. I'm not going to go down that far. So 8 to 14 hours, depending on if there's other people out and about and I'm fighting the leather farmers and whatnot. I'm waiting to see if he's gonna zone in. Are you here? He doesn't look to be here today, so, or at least right now. There is a rare that hangs out up here, so be careful when you come charging in. He doesn't look like he's up at the moment, but do be mindful that he does live there. He's like a big swampy guy with vines and moss and dripping and all that. So, I mean, if he's up, you might not be able to necessarily grab the strangle kelp or not life root, excuse me, or the life root that zones in on the other side of this thing, because he hangs out right there. And he does he doesn't full on patrol, but he does stray from that little circle just a bit. And I'm not sure how far out his aggro box goes, so, and it might depend on level, but he's definitely not neutral. At least I don't think he is. I think he is red, so I do believe he is aggroable. And then you never know. Sometimes some neutral mobs, if they're too close to a node, sometimes I have had them trigger. So it's been rare, but you know, if you're just not sure, leave the node. It's not worth it. Besides, you don't want to accidentally touch the creature when you're trying to touch the node. Sometimes they can just get right under your mouse. And then forget it. Alright. So it's midway point on the week. I hope everybody's doing alright. Hope everybody had a pretty decent end to their weekend. It was okay for us, all things considered. I was actually going to take this one out and level them the other day, because I had like a 2.5 day migraine. That was not fun. Because I was just trying to find something that I could, you know, have enough brain power to do, because at one point I was just sitting here like staring and I'm like, oh god, I don't have anything that doesn't require me to like be fully functionable to do. And I was just kind of sitting here and I was like, nah. But I was gonna pull them out and I'm like, no, I need the rested for stream, because if I take them out now, they're not gonna get enough rested back. So I figure we'll do probably a level on this one. I don't think they have enough rested to cover 2 levels right now, because we've been playing them. So we'll see what my internet looks like when we are done this level. I'm not opposed to leveling this one off of rested. I've done it. And in fact, a lot of the time that Gentle Soul was leveling through Bastion, she was in fact unrested. She would have, I think she had like a bar. No, she had a level and a half of rested, I believe, maybe 2 levels. By the time I went and pulled her out and took her into Bastion through the mall skip. But after I blew through those 2 levels, I was like, well, I don't really feel like sitting here and waiting for her to gain the rested. And I was like, and it's just more mats to sell anyway. So I was like, that's fine. So about 75, 80% of her leveling out there was unrested. And that was okay. I think an unrested level gathering out there took me about 2.5 to 3 hours, roughly. Maybe. I know when I was rested, it took like no time at all, and I was like, oh, we're done already. Well. Interesting. So, we'll see. We will see. But, yeah, when we move over to Recordville in 4 levels, I will let you guys know when that's gonna happen. And I will try to remember to post on Twitter that that recording is now up on the channel on YouTube. We still need to get back to No Place Like Home. I do believe they went full access now. The last time we looked at that game, we didn't look at it very long. I think we looked at it like 1 session. And it was still in early access. There were still some bugs and whatnot, but I believe it's in full access now. So we need to go take a look at that again. Russell said it looked really different from the last time, but I'm not sure, because I haven't even loaded in on my own. I almost did, but I was like, no, I kind of want to look at this first on stream. Or at least record it. I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet. I gotta think about it. That strangle kelp is still there. It's taunting me, right? Because it's not... like, it doesn't look that far, but then again, it would be like the only piece of strangle kelp we would have. So I'm kind of like, meh, I don't really feel like going and getting you. Where are you? Oh, life root. You didn't look like life root from the angle. But, you know, we'll see what happens with all of the things and stuff. Before we leave, did some sort of update. It said something about a Wastelands update, and I'm not exactly sure what that meant. I haven't been in to check it out yet. I don't think these nodes have respawned yet, so they're probably going to be respawning behind us. Or this loop will be very empty. We will see. It's one bad thing about being mounted out here, is that, and flying, you're going faster than the respawns are happening. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see about doing, or continuing our Before We Leave playthrough. I hate editing so much, which is why a lot of the shit that we stream just gets shipped on over to the channel on YouTube. I hate editing so much. I barely edit. I'll throw the raw video if I do a recording session, providing nothing goes wrong, into the rendering software, and I'm like, just make it in an uploadable format, please. Because I just can't with this. You know, I don't like doing flashy little songs and intros and all that shit. I don't have time for that. I barely have time to do the other stuff that we stream, so I'm just like, meh. I don't know. I might take our banner photo and stick that in as an opening thingy. And get off my lazy ass and start editing that in, but we'll see. We will see. Yeah, this time through, we didn't really have a whole lot up. And that can happen. I would have just run on foot. But I don't want to run on foot because we have a mount now. I'm trying not to fly too much, but just to try to give stuff a chance to spawn back in. At least this time through, and I know that's there, but it's... where is it? It's over here somewhere. And that's in Spiderville, and we don't want anything to do with them, so... You alright?
Yeah, I'm okay.
It was a rough night last night. We like planning trips that well, I like planning trips that I'll probably never take. And we had been talking about at some point down the road. Maybe going here. Maybe going there. If we ever have the money to do so. But the one thing we were gonna do, we were kind of looking at closer on Google Maps, and the husband's like, oh, this is a lot different now than how I remember it. He's like, I don't know. He goes, we could skip this. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, but if you really want to go. And he's like, nah. He's kind of like meh about it. And I was like, well, alright. And then he was like, well, is there someplace you'd rather go? And I'm like, I don't know. We miss being... we miss being, near an ocean. He grew up in New Hampshire. There's gonna be sirens in a minute. I have our window open. I can hear them. They're not real close. They may have gone a different direction. They may have stopped. But he grew up in New Hampshire, so they would sometimes go down to the shore once in a while. And oh, there it is again. And I grew up in South Jersey. Like 15 minutes from Atlantic City, if that. In a back bay area. With the marshes and the constant reeking of something died every time low tide happened, and we would go to Ocean City, New Jersey all the time and walk on the boardwalk there, and we're not really beach people. I if I get too sandy, I get agitated. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I got sand in my hair one time and I couldn't handle it. It drove me insane. But the water isn't really all that warm up here or up in Jersey either. But we loved going to the boardwalk and getting food and doing miniature golf because there was like 3 different miniature golf places. And you know, and just walking and just, you know, looking at shit and seeing the seagulls. And yes, we miss seagulls. I grew up with them. Yeah, they were annoying as shit, cackling, you know, outside. But we miss them. It's weird. I know we hated them when we were up there, but we kind of miss them now. And we don't even really have pigeons in the part of the state that we're in. Like, we have a couple doves, like the gray doves, but that's about it. And the whole reason that we were going to go to the beach in New Hampshire was because they had a boardwalk. Russell thought it was a boardwalk, and he goes, oh no, wait, it's just the stuff's on the street that's across from the beach. He goes, that's right. So he's like, I don't know. He's like, well, is there a boardwalk you want to go to? And I'm like, I don't know. And then we were thinking about going to Wildwood when I've never been to Wildwood, New Jersey, even though we lived there. People raved about the boardwalk there. But I'd rather either just go to, like, Wildwood or just go to New Hampshire. I really don't want to do both. Just because I have such anxiety about going through New York City to get back and forth. Because it would take us so far out of the way to go around. Like, so far out of the way. I haven't played with it very much. I would have to fuck with the Google Map driving direction things, but really don't want to do it. I had such anxiety over it, and we hadn't even decided we were gonna go, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, if we went to Wildwood, we could also pop into the zoo in Cape May. We'd only been there once, and it wasn't a bad zoo. I don't even think we saw all of it. Maybe we did. I don't remember. We only went once, and that was right before we left. But there's, like, no boardwalks close to us at all. Because we are in landlocked Arkansas. Like, not with an ocean. A real boardwalk. There might be something in Galveston, Texas. Maybe. But I don't know if I really feel like going to Texas. I don't know. Never really had a huge desire to go to Texas. Part of me would just rather go to Florida and go to SeaWorld and go to Tampa and check out the zoo in Tampa and go to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium and, like, go shelling on the beach between there and, like, St. Pete's and stuff. So I've never been to that area of Florida. I don't know. We could check out Myrtle Beach. I've never been to Myrtle Beach. They kind of had a boardwalky area that sounded similar to what we're used to back in South Jersey. We could look at Ocean City, Maryland. Don't know. I just miss being on the East Coast so much. Not a fan of this landlocked nonsense. And I know a lot of people are like, but there's lakes and shit. It's not the same. It's not. There's something about the salt air and just, it just feels like home. But we'll see. It's years from happening, even if it ever does. Because we've got so much other shit that has to be dealt with first. Oh god, I was looking at the Google Map images from where I grew up. Holy shit. Holy shit. It looks like a foreign land. I'm just like, what is this? Like, there's buildings that have been torn down. The places that were in them have moved. There was, there were new buildings, like brand spanking new buildings put up in some places that I don't even remember what had originally stood there, but I feel like something stood there. But I can't remember what the fuck it was. It could have just been a wooded lot, potentially, but I don't think it was. I felt like something was there, whether it was a house or like a garage or something, and I can't for the life of me remember what had been in that one location, and just seeing so much having changed was kind of trippy. Like, stuff just didn't look the same. And the one area they made such a big deal about being green spaces and fields, and they put in some soccer fields, there might be some baseball fields, and there used to be like this huge ass playground. It had some playground equipment for some disabled kids and stuff, and now it's been reduced to like one thing, like one all interconnected piece of playground equipment, like with a couple of slides, a couple of swings, but like all spidered off of each other. And I'm like, that's it? Like, what is this shit? Like, there was a lot more ground to work with here, and you all put in all these sports fields and killed the playground equipment. Like, what? Like, let's have some room for kids to play without them having to be involved in a sport. Like, what happened to this? Like, usually when I was growing up, if it was a multi-family, the parents would be, you know, if the kids were old enough, they'd be left to play on the playground equipment while the parents were watching the other kid in, you know, the sport or whatever, with strict instructions of don't you dare walk away from here. I mean, I guess things have changed. But I don't know. Like, so I grew up during the 80s and 90s. And we had like these tall metal, there was a tall metal slide of doom. It was still pretty awesome though. They had swings, and there was this like this spinny, wobbly wooden merry-go-round where you'd sit on it and then like somebody else can like push and get it going in a circle, and we would try to get that thing going so fast. And then we would like all like kind of hop on. And I say we, the group of kids that would go to the same babysitter that I did, because she had a bunch of us. on the rare times that she took us to that park, like, it was a special treat when we got to go to that park, because she didn't like going to that one because there was a little bit more traffic and stuff, and she was nervous with us all in the car. But like, we were all sandwiched into her station wagon. Like, the storage area of the station wagon had a seat that folded up, and so, like, there would be 1, 2, 3, there would be like 5 kids crammed back in there. And some days when she had a lot of us, she wouldn't put the seat down, and we would just, like, be told not to move around because she only had to go, like, 6 blocks, or not 6 blocks, but, you know, she didn't have to go far to get us back to her house. And she's like, you need to behave, nobody carrying around, nobody carrying on, sit still. And, like, and then there'd be, like, 3 kids in the middle seat, like, or the back seat, and then there would be, like, 1 person up front in the passenger seat with her. Like, she would have, like, I think there was, depending on the day, there could be anywhere between, like, 5 to 10 of us. Sometimes in the summer there was 12 of us. It depended, really. But then she had to get state certified, so then, like, her number had to be reduced for the amount of kids that she could have, and then, like, all of the pool laws started to change, so then she had to put up a fence around her pool, and then, like, alarms had to be put on certain doors, and then we couldn't go out through the one way to get into the backyard anymore. We had to go out another way, and someone had to be out there with us, and, you know, just to make sure that the state didn't get all pissy and fine her. And everything. She was trying to do things by the book as much as she could. But we knew her for a long time. She was originally an aide at the preschool I went to. And then she started to become an aide, or she did become an aide at the grade school, like, for a kindergarten for a while that I was at. Alright, yeah, we don't really have that much more rested. I mean, we could just finish out the rested. We could do that. But things were so different growing up then as they are now. Like, we didn't have the internet. Internet wasn't a thing. Computers were really only starting to become a thing, and even then it was just more like business things, not like everybody had one in their house, and at least in our area it was not really a thing. Wasn't common. So it was kind of weird because, you know, got to witness how internet became more of a mainstay in home life, and computers became more of a commonplace thing. They were expensive, but more and more people were getting them and having them at home. And I remembered having to type out, like, school reports on a typewriter because, you know, there weren't there was no such thing as, oh, let me just, you know, print this out on my computer. Oh no. Didn't work that way. And my handwriting was terrible, so did not make things easy, but things were just so different. Like, the one elementary school that I went to isn't even there anymore. They tore it down. when they built a new complex where the middle school was, because the way the town was set up, the elementary school was in one part of town, and then they had built a middle school in another part of town, like all the way on the other side of town. And like the middle school was like from 5th grade to 8th grade, and our town didn't have a high school. They had a bus out agreement, so would we be considered a sending district then? We had to get sent out of our town into 2 other possible towns that we could be sent to for free. And one town was at the time kind of rough. Actually, they were both pretty rough. To the sheltered kids of our town, they were both not the best options. And it was just constant stories of kids getting jumped there and everything, so nobody was really all that excited to go to either one of them. So then you ended up going to the private high school that was in our town. It was a Catholic high school. And that was some big money at the time. I think tuition was like $3,000 a year. Something like that. I looked at the tuition prices there now. Holy shit, it's more than doubled. I was like, oh my god. How can these people afford to send their kids? Like, multiple kids in a family. Like, I'm just like, how? Because, damn. It ain't that, like, cost of living there ain't that cheap. It's expensive. Oh, my mustache is cutting through my arm. There we go. I don't know how these parents do it. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's do the thing first. Okay, so. Do this, and we'll do that. Alright, now. Go. WoW challenges Pacifist. Oh, excuse me. Down in front, he is a hunter. I am running a hunter without a pet or any damage buttons on my par. It was one of the classes that was allowed for that contest, and I was like, you know what? Nobody is going hunter. Let's be different, and let's go hunter. I may be the only hunter right now that's a pacifist. I'm not certain. Because the tracker's been down. But they're working on it. They're working on it. Ding's level. What did we ding anyway? 47. Not 471. We have a slash play time of 2 days, 6 hours, 7 minutes, and 7 minutes. So this one, 47, 48, 49. So we've got 3 more levels to go on the Pacifist before they get moved to record down. We're just gonna check to make sure that we're still clean. And no kills. And our gear is all still in the white / gray category, so we are fine there. Alright. So let's go ahead and we'll leave you here to get some rested. Alright, so we're gonna switch realms real fast and go grab the DK because the DK is not on the realm. Oh, you know what? Maybe no, we'll do the DK last. We'll do the DK last. I forgot because we might do a little bit of the Ouroboros stuff. Where are we? So the monk was our last bloodthirsty. I still have to go in and grab her cash and send it out to my bank alt. This one is a blood. I don't know if we'll end up leveling through Bastion. I don't know if I have it in me. So let's grab the Demon Hunter. Yeah, let's grab the Demon Hunter. And we'll switch titles here. Alright, so let's remove that too. Oops, my earbuds try to rip out. Bloodthirsty. Leveling. Okay. Does it smell like somebody's smoking?
I made a hot dog.
Oh.
It burned thoroughly.
Oh. Did you put the pan in the sink or something?
Yeah.
Okay. You might want to put the fan out on. Was it smoky?
Not that smoky.
Okay. I don't know why it smells like something's on fire. Okay. So, we're gonna switch over to the Demon Hunter, Bloodthirsty now. We did pick up a Bushy Tail and a Charnel Ash. No trophy antlers so far this level, which was kind of weird, but okay, you know, it's all random drops and stuff. We did, however, replace 2 pieces of gear. One was our Demon Hunter starting area shoulders. So we did finally replace those, so that was lovely. And we switched out a weapon. So that was good. So we're slowly getting rid of the Demon Hunter starting area outfit. Was that the last piece of it, or do we still have something? We still have gloves from the Demon Hunter starting area. And that might be the last piece. You know, not counting, like, rings and trinkets. So, yeah, it's not half bad. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, everybody in the WoW Challenges Discord, make sure you go tell Execute happy birthday. It is his birthday at the moment in Australia, so 'cause they are on a different date than us. So go ahead and pop in the Discord and give him a happy birthday. Alright. So we've got 3 bars to go on this one. And I am trying to remember to watch how and when I'm using Glaive Toss and Emoliation Aura. I can still use it for the next 10 levels, that's fine. But I do have to think about when and where I'm going to be using that soon, because certain spots where we tend to level in Bastion, that could be problematic. So do remember that not every spell is a good idea in every location, because there's some sections where, sorry, a semi just went by, there's some sections where you know, there'll be a patrol of 2 horses running right through us. So if we have that up, I mean, the Demon Hunter might be able to handle them, but those horses also do gore. So maybe not. I don't know how well Soul Cleave is gonna heal that. And 2 gores would drop you in nothing flat, especially considering that we are in you know, minimal green gear without, you know, enchants or anything, so that would probably be really terrifying. So let's not do that. We'll even have to be careful of, you know, trying not to use Glaive Toss too much. Probably towards the end of level 49, if we make it that far. I will probably stop using, or try to stop using Glaive Toss so much, just to get us ready, to try to tone down that loveliness, but you know, we'll see what happens. We'll have to try to be mindful to pull out of patrol path. So if we have to take a couple steps back, we'll have to take a couple steps back. I don't know if this one's gonna be a situation of having to do the butterflies or the moths. It might be, but at the same time, I don't know. We could probably do turtles. Because this one is a bit of a tanky spec. It's gonna be a little bit of trial and error, I think, just to see how things are gonna go. Because I think we're gonna blow through those moths, and then we're gonna be waiting for them to respawn. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do have that other Demon Hunter still that ended up getting flagged. I could take them around and use them as a Demon Hunter scout, maybe, but I have not gotten rid of them yet. I need to, but I just haven't yet. They had been added to a bug list, so I've been reluctant to delete them yet, because we might be starting to make some progress on that end. So they might just sit a little bit longer. I mean, they're not really hurting anything. I don't have to have that character slot right this moment.
I need a target.
Rawr. Oh, right. So we got 2 bars left to go. It's always interesting to see what drops vendor trash wise, because it is very random. In some levels you just get all of the things, and other levels it's like, that's it? That's all you're giving me, really? Or maybe that's just me. My RNG has always been a little stingy at times, and has a sick sense of humor. I think I was getting like all of the different gear. Who was that on? Might have been on my druid. Like this past level, I was getting like all of the things, and I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Mail. Cloth. And I'm like, I need leather. So it's just super annoying. I was like, really? You're gonna give me everything but what I need? Or maybe it was the DK. It might have been the DK. It was one of them, I can't remember which one. They all kind of blend together after a while. But we're gonna have to take the DK shopping before we head into Ouroboros. That sounded like Momo grumbling. You okay, Momo? Are we good? Momo doesn't grumble much anymore. Unless Zuzu's sitting on him. Which could be the case. Oh, they're both being fussy at each other. That's what that's about. Because now I hear the other one getting kind of pissy. Alright. So, we'll keep on trucking. We got a bar and a half left to go on the Demon Hunter. So, Bloodthirsty, for those that are new here, you're grinding to max level. Very, very minimal quests allowed, depending on your class slash race that you have chosen. Pandarian, Worgen, Goblins, Death Knights, and Demon Hunters are allowed to quest out of their starting area if there is no other way for them to leave. But then once you have gotten out of the starting area, you have to grind. There is a list on the website of the quests that you're allowed to go up to. But then once you turn that last quest in on the list, that's it, you're done. You have to grind from that point out. And it's different depending on what you're playing, so you'll need to check that. That list is embedded in the Bloodthirsty rules page. That's the only way to get to it. It's on the list to be added to its own page, like its own directory to get to it separately outside of the rules, but might be a while before we're able to do that. Right now you can only get to it through the Bloodthirsty quest, or the Bloodthirsty rules page itself, and it will say something about the word here, I think, is highlighted. And that's where you can find your allowed quest list. And there's also some quests allowed for X-Pack transitions that have just been there forever. I don't know if we necessarily need all of them there still, with the way things have changed. I know you don't technically have to do the Pandaren quest, you just have to have it active in your log in order to be able to access the portal. But I don't know, I think you're still allowed to do it to permanently open the portal. But there's so many leveling options, you don't even have to set foot in Pandaria now. Where are you, friend? There you are. Alright, so we're gonna have to wait for this guy to come around. I mean, we don't have to wait down here, but he's usually easier to pull down here. So yeah, it's not like Iron where you can quest and kill stuff if you're able to kill it.
I need to target something first.
It's pretty much killing all the time. Now you will have to do some quests to get into Shadowlands, and you cannot skip going to Shadowlands. You won't hit max if you don't go there. So, because I think the stuff here grays out definitely by 56, in which case you ain't getting shit. It might gray out at 53. I can't fully remember. Testing happened so long ago. Yeah, you're gonna have to. There's just no other way around it. So the Maw quests and the Ouroboros quests had been originally added in because for the past almost year, 10 months, something like that, that was the only way to get into Ouroboros and to get into any of the Shadowland zones was to do the Maw quests. Now they have since added a Maw skip. The Maw skip will get you into Ouroboros, but it will not get you into a zone. So you're still gonna have to do a small handful of quests in Ouroboros itself in order to access Bastion. Now, Zaya had said something about that if you buy the Shadowlands scouting map, you can go to any of the zones without having to do any of the quests. Like the entry quests, because Bloodthirsty has to take the storyline option. They cannot take the world quest option. If you take the world quest option when you enter Ouroboros, it will red flag you because Blizzard gave you credit for over 300 quests, and we certainly didn't let you do that many. So you have to take the storyline option. Now, I don't know if you still have to finish the Ouroboros stuff. I think you do, because you have to open the flight point. So I think you would still at least have to wrap up Ouroboros to head into Bastion, I believe. But then, once you have the flight path unlocked to fly out of Ouroboros, then I think you can go anywhere if you have that scouting map, I believe. I could be a little muddled on that. I haven't done it myself, which is why I'm hedging here. I'm like, maybe test that if you're really not wanting to do Bastion. Definitely test it with a scout. I don't feel like dropping that much gold on a toy right now, so that'll be left to others to look into. I have the money for it. I'd rather hold on to that to save for a potential time token. So every time I think I'm getting close to being able to get a time token, the time token raises back up, and I am not constantly farming for mats. I have other things to do. So we will see. Because I sort of have a painting that I want to work on soon. I actually kind of have two different ideas, but we'll do the one first. I'm not sure if I want to do it on watercolor paper or if I want to do it on canvas. I don't have that much canvas left. I have a good amount of watercolor paper left, so we might do acrylic on watercolor paper. We've done that before, and it's worked out pretty well. So we might might potentially do that. That was one of the things I was thinking about starting yesterday, but my brain was just too fucked up. I had they call them like a migraine hangover headache or like the let down headache from a migraine, where it wasn't as incapacitating, but I still was definitely not functioning properly, and my head was just absolutely fuzzy, and it was terrible. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll hearth you back to Hatherford. Oh, we got a new demon spike thingy. What is this? Demon spikes also increases your parry chance by 15 for 6 seconds. Okay. If you say so. Alright. I really wish they would fix selfie cam. They probably never will. But I really wish they would. Alright, so we've got... Nope, that's not right. WoW challenges Bloodthirsty. Soul Glaive. We are Vengeance. Things level 41. You are on your way, friend. Slash played 2 days. 12 hours. 23 minutes. 13 seconds. Total kills to date. I mean, they still have, let's see, 41, 51, what, 19 levels to go? And they still got a ways to go, but... Alright, what are we at here? 3602. 3602. Okay. No. Close you. Alright, so we'll tweet that. And let's go and deal with our vendor stuff. We didn't really have any vendor stuff on the Pacifist. And there's no smelting station in Chillwind. So we'll do it all later. At some point. I never did pick up a trophy antler this level. Fascinating. Alright, so I'm just gonna add this stuff in because it's only those two and then these two, so that brings us to 172 for vendorables this level, because we're not going after humanoids right now. There are humanoids out here, but the area that they are in, they respawn so fast. And with us not being a hunter, I don't think we can handle it. And you know, when you add in humanoids, then you add in spellcasting and all that sort of fuckery, so we'll just stick with where we are. It's working, it's fine, all that. Alright, so we also have the druid. So we'll pop onto her. And maybe her bag will let me know if it was her or the Death Knight that kept getting all of the loot. Because I haven't vendored yet. I vendor at the end of the level. Because we're not hard up for bag space right now. Because I'm just vendoring the green gear. The green gear got so weird on my server that certain stuff just wasn't selling anymore, and... Okay, it was you. Yeah, you got cloth legs. I'm like, well, that doesn't do me much good. I mean, yes, I can technically wear them. However, I lose the armor bonus for having the non-ideal armor on, so it's just better to stick with the leather that I have on. We also got a cloth wrist. We got a two-handed axe, which I can't do anything with, apparently. We also got a shield, which I can't do anything with. And then we got a one-handed sword, which apparently I can't do anything with, and I was like, really, RNG? Really? We did pick up 4 ivory tusks so far, so that was something. Alright, so you, my friend, are level 45. And we are aiming for 46. So we'll see what happens. I do feel like her leveling has started to slow down a little bit. That could have just been because my attention span was not here for this. I definitely was struggling. I'm on the struggle bus right now because I'm antsy. I want everybody to be leveled and be done because I can see a light at the end of this grinding tunnel, and technically I don't really have to keep going. I know that. Nobody's forcing me to do this. But it's become personal now, so I'm kind of forcing myself to do it because I'm like, you're almost there, damn it. Don't give up now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because we do have the quote-unquote next expansion reveal date coming up in April. Not real sure what to expect from that. I honestly really haven't been paying attention to the loop of news and shit. I'm just so burnt out from everything. I'm just like, meh. Wow. That was a loud pickup truck. And yes, that was a pickup truck. On a raised chassis. Or raised frame, whatever the fuck you guys want to call it. Ow. Ankle. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I know what I'd like to see. Kind of. If they're talking about reveal date, they're talking about a reveal. Who knows when alpha could start? I'm trying to think back of how far back they release and then they go into alpha. It could be potentially 6 more months before alpha. Maybe the end of the summer? No, that would be less than... I don't know. They might have held their tongue until they were ready for alpha. I don't know. It's hard to say, really, with the way the landscape looks right now. Mother... No one asked you, sir. Move along. Move along. I don't mind helping people that look like they're struggling to kill something. But if people look like they're well in hand and they're fine, I tend to leave them alone. But... because I think it's rude to jump in when the person is health-wise fine. They're not trying to retreat. They're not running at you for help. That's just me, though. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from this announcement. It's hard to say because there was finally talk of Overwatch 2, was it closed beta, sign up beta, alpha? I don't know. Something about signing up for testing for Overwatch 2 that was gonna happen, did happen, coming, I don't remember. Y'all, every day's blurring together for me, so there's just so many news things coming out on Wowhead that it just gets to a point where I'm like, it's just a wall of noise, and I'm just like, okay. Does it look like this is going to impact the challenges that I have to make sure Lita's aware of? If it doesn't, then I'm like, just whatever, I'm just scrolling through the headlines real quick, and I'm not even really reading them. I'm just like, okay. I'm tired. I'm tired, my brain is tired, my brain is just like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm not here. So, my brain is being consumed by all of the other stupid stuff that's going on with us personally, so. Alright, yeah, we're gonna kind of have to come down here, I think. This one's not so bad coming down to the lower tier because I can range pull all of this. So it's not too terrible. I will say, when I was looking at hotel prices last night, the price difference between staying in Tampa and staying in Clearwater, or even staying in St. Petersburg was quite eye-opening, depending on where you were staying, and I was like, oh my. Like, oh my, indeed. We need to get some rage going here. Been very rage starved here. And if we're rage starved, we can't use our frenzied regen. I mean, we still have regrowth, but that does pop us out of bear form. And also leads to the problem of us being rage starved because we're out of bear form. So I try not to do too much out of bear form if we can help it. Come on. Come on over. Come on over, friend. Don't get stuck on the rock. Let's not do that. That would not help anyone in this situation. So, like, there's places I would kinda, and I do stress the word kinda, like to see sometime. But at the same time, because I only vaguely kind of might like to see them, I can't justify spending the money to do it, you know? I don't know. I'm weird like that. Maybe that's just my personal anxietyness talking of being like, but I don't want to go that far away if it's not something I really want to do. I don't know. Like, I kinda... It also doesn't help that, you know, neither one of us can really do, like, amusement park rides. Like, I can do carousel, I can do a Ferris wheel. I could probably do the equivalent to, like, Small World or something. Like maybe Jungle Cruise type things, you know. The gentle rides, because of how fucked up my neck is. So, like, part of me would like to check out Silver Dollar City sometime. However, I can't justify a trip just for that. Because I can't bring myself to pay a park entrance fee when there's really not anything I can do there except walk around. And I'm like, if I'm gonna spend the money for that, I'd rather go here where I know there's stuff I can do and stuff that I enjoy already. I don't know, it's weird. Like, part of me is like, oh, we could go check out Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We've drove by it many times on our numerous trips to New Jersey. I mean, maybe not directly by it, but we've seen, like, the signs and the exits to take you in that direction. But it's only like a vague hey maybe, and I don't know if I really want to do it bad enough to do that. I don't know. Maybe if money wasn't quite so tight, I'd feel differently. Or if we weren't quite so damaged people. Because the driving through Tennessee is rough on the husband with all of the mountain up and downs. He always has a hard time going through there. So, I don't know. Like, I don't want to see it bad enough to put him through that kind of deal. And we don't fly anymore. Like I was saying before, I think the last time we flew was our honeymoon. Well over 12 years ago, so... Let's see, what year were we married? We were married in 2007. So it's been a little bit. Just a little bit. But I don't think him and I could handle flying anymore. And just, you know, we like being able to move at our own pace. Because we feel like we have a bit more control over the situation. And that makes us feel a little bit more comfortable. We don't like being at the mercy of like plane schedules and all that, and weather and potential flight delays and cancellations, and we can't handle that anymore. No thanks. I don't want to be trapped in an airport for X number of hours anymore, because I'm one of those people that was so nervous about something happening and not being there on time, and like some weird something happening that delayed me getting to the airport, that I would like be there like a full ass like 2.5 hours before my flight, because I'm like, oh, well, what if security's backed up, or what if there's a problem with me getting through security, when there never, ever, ever was. You know, just like all of the things that would run through my head. And then, you know, I'm such a nervous, anxiety-ridden person that when I had layovers, I was trying to do my layovers so that I had like a good 4 to 5 hour buffer in between them, where at all possible, just in case my flight before got delayed, like, cause especially when I was traveling alone, because then I was like, I'm in no man's land, I got no money for nothing extra, let alone these airport prices, like what? So that was always super stressful. I mean, shit can still get delayed and go wrong when you're in a vehicle, but if you need a break from the highway, you can always pull over at a rest area or find the closest exit that looks like it's something that you can take a minute at, and just, you know, get out of the car and breathe for a second. Which seems to suit us a lot better. But, you know, we're a long way from ever being able to go on a vacation anytime soon. A long way away, if we are ever able to. But I don't know. I just like to take a look at potential places and hypothetically plan them out and get a rough idea of how much doing X would cost us. And what potential things there might be there to do at X area, or on the way to X area. Like, I'd kind of like to see Busch Gardens, but the only thing I would be doing there would be just looking at the animals, because I can't get on any of the rides. So then it's like, is this worth it? I could take that money and go to the zoo instead and probably have a better time. Maybe, I don't know. We would have to see. If we had the money to burn, yeah, we could go kick around Busch Gardens for a while. But it's all interconnected as to, you know, things and stuff. Part of me really wants to go to Legoland. The little kid in me really wants to go to Legoland, but like the only thing I could ride at Legoland would be the carousel. Maybe. Maybe. And maybe like the little water boat thingies, but I probably wouldn't end up doing them. 'Cause, you know, I'm me, so... But I mean, they do have the gardens there too that you can walk through and look at. So I mean, that would be interesting. Because apparently Cypress Gardens is still attached to Legoland. I still have all my Legos from when I was growing up. Russell has his too. We compound the Lego forces. They're all in a huge ass container somewhere in this house. it's just one of those things that we haven't been able to bring ourselves to get rid of. I don't know. Part of me thinks about getting rid of them, and I, like, my chest hitches, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. Because, you know, technically, I'm an only child. But also, technically, I'm the baby of the family. Because I do have half-siblings. But I am the only child from my mom and my dad. So, technically, only child. From that hookup arrangement, shall we say. Because all of my siblings were so much older than me. It never really... There really wasn't much of a connection there. And by time I wasn't some, like, walking, pooing, crying machine, where I could, like, actually start to kind of do things and understand the world around me, they were already well into doing their own things. And they were never really around. I don't know if they were living with their father at that point, which might have been the case. Like, my one sister is like 13 years older than me. I think the youngest is my asshole of a sibling that became a cop. He might be 9 years older than me? Something like that. So there really wasn't, you know, much connection there, because they were all kind of their own people. And, you know, starting their own things and stuff. So we were never really close to begin with. But, you know, so I forgot where I was going with that. But, you know, it was a lot of entertaining myself. Because, you know, I didn't really have that many friends growing up. And, you know, so it was a lot of, like, coloring books and art supplies and doing my own thing and Legos and stuff. So, you know, you did what you had to do. Because what couple of friends I had, there really was never an ideal time for them to come over, because both parents were, like, always working, and it wasn't, oh, hey, can so-and-so come over after school, because I was always the babysitters. So, you know, things and stuff and all that. So there was a lot of, entertain yourself stuff happening. Bearflage. Very, very quiet. We're hunting river beasts. Challenges. Bloodthirsty soul survivor. We are a bear druid. Dings level 46. So we currently have a slash played of 4 days, 6 hours, 40 minutes, and 21 seconds. Excuse me. Total kills. Total kills. 83, 42. 8, 3, 4, 2. Alright, so let's see what we got for vendorables today.
Knowledge is the best currency.
Alright, so minimal repair bill. That's fine, that's what we like to see. Alright, let's go through our vendor trash first, because we have a few greens here. So that's 222 on the vendor trash. And then we'll do the greens, and the greens work out to another 32. We certainly have quite a lot of meaty haunches. We'll end up with more meaty haunches than the Death Knight has, that's for certain. I'm beginning to think this one's been out here longer than the Death Knight, but I'm not certain. I don't remember what level they came out here. I'd have to go back through screenshots, and I don't feel like doing that, so. Maybe their RNG just decided to give them all of the meat ever. Okay, so now we are going to switch realms and grab the DK. And I have got a mark on my glasses. So if you all will forgive me 1 minute while we load in, I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. We can see a little bit better now. So I wasn't sure if it was the way the sun was hitting the back of my glasses or if there was actually a smudge and I took them off and there was Smudge City. So apparently I did not clean them as well as I thought I had. Oh right, so when I was working on this one, my rested only went up to here. So I was like, oh, that means, oh, this one had a bunch of greens too. Okay. So they both had a bunch of greens. This one replaced a belt. So yeah, we have a little bit more than the 3 bars to go on this one. But yeah, this one got a one-handed mace. They got a leather hat, and I'm like, I have 2 characters that would have loved for a leather hat. It got a warglaive. I'm like, I have a character that would love to have the warglaive. I got a mail helm. I'm like, I have a character that would have loved to get that, and then, you know, wrist, and I'm like, all of the things that all of the other characters could have used. This one did replace their belt though, so that was something. Because that belt was an original DK starting gear belt, so, you know, it was something. Something better than nothing, I suppose. Alright. So let me make sure. Yep, we're unmuted. Okay, everything's good there. Alright. So I'm not sure where the DK is going to end up leveling out there. They might take the moth route just because they lay down a few AoEs. And it might just be better in the long run if I'm as isolated as possible. And I know in that one particular area where the moths are, there aren't that many patrols running through there, so that might be where we end up leveling for the mid-range part of things. We'll have to see. It might be a mix between the moths and the turtles, like we might end up doing for the demon hunter. But, you know, again, we'll have to see how things go. Kind of we'll cross that bridge when we get there sort of situation. We'll see how the first few mobs hit us and how they feel when we get out there, but I don't think I want to take on the gore mobs with having to deal with rune cooldown and stuff. That's probably just kind of asking for trouble. Because Death Strike's what heals us, right? So, you know, could be a little problematic with that and the gory guys, so we'll have to see. Definitely. But I do know this one's probably gonna have to wait until tomorrow to try to get close to 51, because I don't know where we are in the rested department. I think I've worked on this one last Thursday. And I was a little shy of 3 bars to go on the rested, and I was like, well, I could just push through it, but I was in such a mood that I just wanted to be done. I was like, nope, we're done for the night, fuck it. Like, fuck it, we'll deal with it later. Just like, nope, 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 nope. We need to take a break. What was this one's slash played anyway so far this level? 4 hours, almost 5 hours. Not terrible, considering I was deeply, deeply distracted while working on this one's level. So that's not as bad as it could have been. But 5 hours here. It's kind of hard to gauge that though, because everybody, when we get into Bastion, is gonna be giving us similar XP. It's not going to be like here where the baby river beasts are giving half of what the adults are. It's going to be a little bit closer. Now, while there are some mobs that do give a little bit less out in Bastion than others, it's not quite that large of a difference. And everything that we're going to be going after is pretty similar. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And we're going to be doing a little bit of Ouroboros stuff. We're going to get through Ouroboros and get into Bastion before we call it a day. So we will have to go back into Orgrimmar. We're going to have to grab some gear off of Auction House. Hopefully we have money to do that. Depends on how insane plate prices are today. I haven't set foot in Auction House in a while. Looking for gear, so we'll see. Hopefully people aren't still charging through the nose for green level 50 gear that's going to end up getting replaced anyway, which I just don't understand. We are up to 8 ivory tusks on this one though, so it was a pretty good level for drops off of these guys. So that's been interesting. And I'm getting really excited about some upcoming art stuff that we're going to be doing. We're almost done our current needle felting project. Almost. I think we still have another maybe 2 to 3 weeks to go on that one. Maybe. We'll see. Depends on how long our next couple of sessions go. The past 2 were kind of short, and I do apologize for that, but I wasn't feeling that well, and I got a late start, and then other factors happened that I ended up having to stop a little bit early. But we're almost done with the current needle felting project, and we'll be starting the next one, and that one's kind of cool. Kind of excited for that one. And there's some painting stuff I want to try to do, and all of the things. Like this, I have an idea for... I have 2 ideas I'm trying to figure out how I want them to go for my next physical painting, and I'm not sure if I want to see if I can breathe some life back into my gouache paints, or if we should do acrylic on the watercolor paper, or if we should try to do the watercolor on the watercolor paper. I'm just undecided. I mean, we could technically try to do the same piece in all 3 and see how it comes out. That's also possible. That would be an interesting concept. I could wrap all 3 of those into a video. I mean, I have enough paper to do that. So it's not like it wouldn't be possible. I don't know. I think I might have to search. I might have to do an image search of what I have rolling around in my brain, because I'm suddenly not sure if I've seen this somewhere else, and I certainly don't want to copy somebody else's. So I don't know where I'm recalling this idea from. My brain likes to toss things back at me that I've encountered like years ago. Like last night, I suddenly got hit with a chorus of a song. And I could not remember where the song came from, but I just kept recalling that I had seen it in a movie. And I'm like, what movie was this? What song is this? I don't even know what the song is called. But there was like 6 or 7 words of the chorus that they had played in it, and that's all my brain kept kicking back at me. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Where did this come from? Why now? It finally drove me so crazy that I had to try to start looking up the parts of the song that was replaying in my head. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but I don't know if this is what the song actually is. And I'm like, well, I heard this in a movie. So then I'm trying to look up, well, what movie had this song in it? And it kicked up Dirty Dancing, and I'm like, do you know how long it's been since I've seen Dirty Dancing? It's been years. I think it's been like almost 15 years since I watched Dirty Dancing, and thank you, Loud Vehicle, for joining today's stream. And I'm just like, what? Brain? What is this? Why? Why are you doing this? What is happening? And it wasn't even a pivotal song. It was like a 30-second snippet, and I'm just like, why? But for some reason, I thought it came from a different movie. So when I saw that that was the movie that it had been pulled from, I'm like, racking my brains together. I'm like, wait, was it from that movie? And the more I kept replaying the words in my head and trying to match the image that I had, I was recalling an image from a different movie, but putting that song on top of it. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, well, yeah, no, it makes sense that it's from this movie, and I don't know why I was thinking it was from this movie, but why the fuck is this popping back into my head all of a sudden, X amount of years later? It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think the song was, Voices, Hearts, and Hands or some shit. That song they sing at the very end. I don't know why that popped into my head. I don't know what the fuck triggered it, but it was just like, wow. Wow. More meat. All of the meat ever. So we got about 2 bars left to go. And we're slowly getting there. This is quite a process to get through. I did get some more work done on my paint by number. I still need to post a photo of that in progress. I should have been recording it, but I just didn't have the correct setup to record that one because of how large it is. It would have been quite the pain in the ass to set that up. If I had an additional camera and the right length cables, we maybe could have made that work, but we'll see. And when I was cleaning in the Great Purge of a week or so ago, I couldn't understand why they gave me a paper copy of the image with the numbers on it. I'm like, the numbers aren't any bigger than what's printed on the canvas. Like, it was the exact same size. And I couldn't understand, you know, what the fucking deal was. So I threw it out. Only to realize that some of the sections didn't have a number in them. And I'm like, what? Where's the number? So I've had to fudge a couple of the colors. Looking at the sample image I had, I'm like, it's probably this color. That looks like that's about the right spot. So I'm like, right, I probably should have held on to that, but at the time of my cleaning and delirium from being so fucking tired, I was just like, yeah, no. That's not gonna happen. But I did make some progress, which it was nice. I actually tried to work on it yesterday, but my head was just too foggy and fuzzy. And I was a hot mess. Like, my eyes were super light sensitive yesterday. And super irritated. So, like, even just touching the outside of my eyelid, like, set them off. And they were itchy and burning. And my one eye was watering like crazy. And I had to, like, put an ice pack over my eyes. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Migraine, what did you do to me? And I felt like shit. And I was gonna go to bed. Husband went off to bed, like, 11-ish? 11:30-ish? And, he was helping me fill the humidifier for in here, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm probably going to bed shortly. He's like, okay. And then I started looking at something, and then I got distracted, and then I started to not feel so fuzzy. So I guess the migraine fog had decided to lift at that point. I was still tired, but I wasn't like, I'm gonna fall over tired. It was just bizarre. And then he ended up getting up because he was having a bad anxiety night. And then he came out of his mom's room because he has to sleep in there with the one cat that we have to have separated out when she's not here. So he came out and we were just kind of chilling, and I was trying to fall asleep, and then the one cat let us know that the outside cat was here, and then he knocked the one fan out of the window, and he was just being a general nuisance and just causing all sorts of chaos and mayhem. And I'm like, could you not? And then Russell got pissed off at him, and he's like, will you stop? He goes, what is your deal? And I'm like, Russell, they do this to me every night after you go to bed, and I get into bed. It doesn't seem to matter what time it is. If I get in bed and turn the light off, it's time to cause all of the problems. All of them ever. Can't tell if that was one of my parents yelling. I don't think you guys heard it. I just barely heard it in the background. But I don't think they were yelling for me. I think they were just yelling. They might have been yelling for each other. My dad can't hear very well. So he has, like, the TV volume cranked so loud. So then he starts shouting to my mom so that she can hear him. And I'm like, turn the fucking TV down. He's like, what? He's like, I can't hear you. And I'm like, he's like, let me turn the TV down. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, if you can't hear me, then why do you have the TV up so loud? Well, I can't hear the TV. We need to get him those, like, a TV that can work with, like, those wireless headphones, so he can just put them on when my mom goes to bed, and then he can turn it up however fucking loud he wants to. That's what we need to do. We need to look to see how much those are. so that he can hopefully figure out how to turn them on when she goes to bed. 'Cause, like, I can hear his TV pretty loud in our room through the wall. I can hear it in our kitchen, which is like on the opposite side of the house. Like, I can hear clearly what the fuck they're watching when I'm making dinner, and I'm like, oh Jesus. I was like, Daddy, you either need a hearing aid or you need to do something, cause put closed captioning on, something. But half the time he's not even watching what's playing. He'll have headphones on and he'll be watching something on his laptop, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, if you're not watching this, why is it on? He had it so loud last night. It was like 2:30? 3:30? 2:30 in the morning. I went to go pee before I went to get into bed. And while I'm in the bathroom, they did the emergency alert system test. And I'm just like, oh my god, my mom's gonna just lose her shit. Because he had it turned up so loud. And you know, we're in severe weather country. And it's getting into, you know, severe weather season. She's gonna think there's a fucking weather event about to happen. And she's gonna wake up in a fucking panic. Like, there was nothing happening last night, so I knew it had to be an alert test. I was just like, oh, she's gonna be pissed. I don't think I'm gonna go in the water here. We have about a bar left. I think we can do this without dealing with that nonsense. I was like, oh boy. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I'm not on the best of terms with my mother. Because of stuff that she's done. To all of us. She did apologize, and she's been trying to make amends for it. So I'm being as civil as I can. But I know my dad's a lot. My dad's a lot for me and Russell at times. So my dad can be a child at times, and he can be just mentally a lot to deal with. But apparently the mother-in-law's coming back before they go to New Hampshire to show us the RV that the sister bought that they're gonna be traveling in, and I'm like, I really don't care. Like, I honestly don't care. Like, I'm not gonna be traveling in it. If it works for you, great, but you don't really have to flaunt this and show this off to us. I really don't care, to be perfectly honest. I said to Russell, I said, she better park that across the street, because the last thing we need is that getting stuck in the driveway, with the driveway being not as hard and compact as it had been before they had to dig it up to lay the new pipes. So it's a lot softer, and shit, and something that heavy is probably gonna get stuck in the ground because we have a lot of moles and stuff, and they like to tunnel. And we already had a car get stuck at one point in the grass. And that was a car and not an RV, and I don't know how big this thing is. I'm like, Russell, it's probably not going to fit in the driveway anyway. He goes, oh no, I told her she has to park across the street. He goes, the last thing we need is that getting stuck in the driveway and sinking in. I was like, yeah, because then your aunt's probably going to throw a shit fit because it was our driveway and then try to make us pay for a tow truck to pull her out. Because I can totally see that happening. like, without fucking missing a beat. I can totally see that happening. So I'm like, no, they're parking that across the street. I have no idea when that's supposed to happen. Maybe a week from now? I don't know. Maybe less than a week? I'm not real sure. They never stick to a plan. It's constantly in flux with them. It drives us insane. Because they'll tell us one thing, so then Russell and I will make plans to deal with stuff that we have to do around it, and then the mother-in-law just changes it on a whim, be like, oh, we're doing this now, and I was like, stop. You can't do this. Other people have lives that they have to work around you with. Please stop. So she's a lot to deal with at times. I know some people probably have worse in-laws, but like Russell's dad isn't in the picture. He never really was. So there's nobody to rein her in and keep her in check. She was pretty much a single parent, so I'm like, oh Lord. Like, at times I kind of wish his dad was around, because I'm just like, somebody needs to rein her ass in and tell her no. So, just like, because no from me ain't sinking in, and she's starting to push me from snippy to full on pissed at times, so it's like, and I can't cut her out because we're living in her house. We can't afford to have our own place right now. And we are also caretaking the property while she's off doing whatever. So that also makes things a little more difficult. Something keeps making a noise on my desk and I don't know what it is. But it's kind of sounds like plastic crinkling. But there's no plastic here to crinkle, so I'm very confused. There it is again. What is making this noise? Oh, maybe it's coming from outside. I have our window cracked open. It was supposed to be in the 70s today. In the 70s. Y'all, Friday, the temperature, the low was like 13. So, I don't know what's happening anymore.
I need to target something.
Don't know. I don't know. I've been like really wanting to move back home so bad. Motorcycle. But I was looking at rent prices in the area and oh my god, I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, how the fuck are people affording over $2,000 a month for just rent? How? On my casino salary, which wasn't really salary, it was hourly pay, but on what I was making at the casino, I couldn't have done that. There was no fucking way. With Russell and I both working at the casino full time and having to do overtime and shit, there was still no way. 'Cause you can bet sure as shit, if we could have afforded rent and utilities on our own, we would have. We would not have been staying. with my parents up there. That just no. If we could have afforded our own place, we probably would have stayed up there for a while longer. But there was like one apartment building from people that we used to rent from before that might have been doable, but there was such a long waiting list to get in there. It was crazy. Alright, and there's our level 50. Let's see about getting our photo. You just don't photo well, do you? Shoulder pads are always in the way. Something just... You're so stiff on the selfie cam. Alright. We don't... Oh, hey, we picked up another thingy. Alright, so let's hearth. Alright. Let's do this. That's not too bad. Alright, so, ow. Earbuds, please don't rip out of my ears. So, WoW challenges. Bloodthirsty. My bloody soul. We are a blood DK. Dings level 50. So we're looking at a slash played of 4 days, 20 hours, 20 minutes, and 3 seconds. Total kills to date on this one. 99. 16, I believe. That's how my brain is seeing that number. If it's not, I apologize, but that's how I am seeing it. I like to flip numbers around, so that is... I'm a bit dyslexic at times. So apologies if that's not correct, but I think it is. Alright, let's do our vendoring.
Knowledge is the best.
Alright, 15 repairs, 15 silver repair. Alright, so let's do our vendor trash first. Alright, vendor trash, 352. Greens were 88. And since nobody seems to care about this as a cooking mat any longer, we're just gonna vendor it. And this is also my horde character, so it doesn't really matter. I don't really have any other characters I can send this to. Alright, and then that was an additional 183. So, we'll see if we have enough money to buy gear. I definitely want gear going into this, because I think we're about 5,000 XP low compared to what the mobs are going to have going in, I think. I could be wrong about that. I might be thinking about the middle mobs' health pools. What? We don't... How did I get here then? Shit. How the fuck are we gonna get back? Oh! Oh! Using a death gate while in ebb and hold. Is there a portal in... Is there a portal in ebb and hold to get back into Orgrimmar? Because I never picked up my Darlaran Hearthstone. Like, is this a thing? I mean, there is a Flight Master, so... But is there portals? don't know. Is there guards here? Will anyone talk to me? You'll kinda talk to me. Maybe it's the next level down. Food and drink. Training dummies. General goods. You can tell I'm not here often. Alright. So there's no portals here, huh? Doesn't seem like it. A bunch of shit on the ground. Can't talk to you. Alright, let's see. What the... Okay, Shattered Sun staging area. That takes me back to... That could work. Or we could just go straight to Silver Moon City. No, wait. Where are we? We could go to Undercity. Right? I'm trying to think of which would be the fastest way. So if we go to the staging area, I think there's a portal there to get back. But I can't remember if that just takes us into Shat. But then there might be a portal in Shat back to Orgrimmar. Let's just go to Brill. Brill should get us to where we need to go. When you don't play Horde very often, and you're not well versed in it, it definitely shows. Alright, so this will probably take a few minutes worth of flying time, so if anybody needs to go pee or get a drink, now would be a good time. To head on out and do those things. Because I am going to take us into Oribos. But we have to do a few things beforehand. We will see. We will see. I'll say it is annoying having to have two different browsers open. I might switch a lot of stuff over to Firefox because a lot of the times when I go to raid other channels when we're done and it loads in someone else's channel, it immediately goes to like an error and they're sitting there talking to me and I have no idea what the hell they're saying because the screen says error. So it doesn't seem to do that when I'm in Firefox. It only seems to do it when I'm in Chrome. And Chrome had been behaving for a while when I was watching in country streams. And then I was thinking, well, is it only doing it on international streams? And then I went to somebody that's in the same country to their stream, and then it threw up the error again. And I'm like, oh, so no, you're just being super picky about when you're doing it. Russell just came back from the store, and Zuzu saw the car pull in, so now he's gonna start whining. Zuzu, it's okay. It's just Dad. It's just Dad coming back from the store. No, we don't need to get fussy. It's just Dad. Okay? You don't need to be fussy. Alright? It's okay. So he might get a little barky here in a second when Russell comes in. Okay, so from here, does this horse fly? No. Okay, we need this thing. All right. Where's the damn? There it is. All right, so we need to pop over to Ogremar now. Let's see. Yep, there's the right portal. Okay. So we'll pop into there. Now we have to go to Auction House. And hope we can find some gear that A, we can wear, B, is an upgrade, and C, that we can afford. Because we need some definite gear help going in. I don't know what that's about, but that can go away. Where are we? Okay, we're in the portal room. Very dark in here. You know what? I just closed you. I'm not doing you. I have a feeling you're gonna keep popping off the whole time we're here. So let's head over to Auction House. I know where this auction house is. Well, a few things that I know where it's located, right? Mailbox, yeah, auction house, okay. Alright.
Yeah, what do you want?
Armor. I want armor. Plate armor, to be exact. We don't want... Nope. Filters. We can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have that. I would like upgrades. And I would like usable, please. Alright, let's break that down further. Heads. What do we have for heads? 135 gold. Requires level 50. Let's go with that one. Okay, hat acquired. Shoulders. Well, This requires level 50. And we can afford it. Chest. Chest is a little bit more expensive, but that's still in our price range here. So that's fine. Belt. Oh, wow. Wow! What the fuck is wrong with people? 402,554 gold for a belt. What? What? It's just a level 50 belt. The fuck is wrong with people? This is even too much, but we're gonna get it. It's more than I want to pay for a fucking belt, but okay. Let's go haste. It's just getting worse. I mean, we could keep going with the ceremonious because then at least our armor will all match, but I mean, we almost have everything that we need. Bracers. Bracers. Hands. Why are you so expensive? Crit versatility, mastery, crit haste. I don't see a crit. I mean, we could go haste and mastery. Alright, we do need a cape, if at all possible. Really? There's not a single cape up that we can use. Fascinating. Right, I usually don't worry about rings and stuff. We do need a weapon. We need a two-handed weapon. Crit versatility. Intellect does us no good. I guess we're gonna have to go with this one. What is this anyway? I don't know what we just bought. We bought something. Hopefully we can use it.
That's it. I got mouths to feed, pal.
What the hell are you bitching about? You just took all my money. That ain't my problem. Alright. So, let's see if we can find a quiet corner away from all of the hustle and bustle here. Alright. So, what was this? This was a mace. What was this? This was a sword. We can use this. So we're at 10, 3, 80. Okay. Alright. Gloves. What is this? Wrist. Feet. Pants. Oh good, those pants cover a lot more than those last pair did. What the hell is this? Is this that? Okay, cool. We got a belt. Hold our pants up. What is this? This is a headpiece. That's an interesting headpiece. Alright. I feel like we're a robot. Alright, shoulders. Okay, and chest piece. We couldn't change out our cloak. Alright, but at least we look more protected now, you know? Alright. So that puts us at 16,120, so we gained at least 6,000 hit points there. So that's good. That's very good. We have to... You alright?
Mm-hmm. This green grass is growing.
That's not the onion grass, is it?
No.
Okay. Alright, so we have to talk to you. Now we've already done them all several times. We don't have to do them all anymore. We are allowed to take them all skip, so that's what we're gonna do. This should drop us right in Oribos. Probably gonna take a minute to load. We'll get there eventually. Maybe. Giving us credit for all of the things. Okay. So they're going to freeze us in place. Everything is going to go black and white because we have to talk to Rotal. Alright, now he is going to present us with a quest. And this is the Threads of Fate quest. So he goes on to say, "It is my duty to observe the strands of fate, the wondrous possibilities that the purpose lays before us. Fate flows around you, mortal. It shifts, it changes, but I have stilled its movements to offer you a choice. You may journey through the Shadowlands in the same manner as those who came before you have done, or you may choose a different path, one that lets you forge a bond with a covenant now, and move freely through the realms of death to forge your own destiny. What say you, mortal? Speak with Fate Scribe Rotal, and decide how you want to experience the Shadowlands." So we're going to accept that quest. And then we have to make our choice. So we're going to go to I'm ready to choose my fate. You must take the storyline option. You cannot take the Threads of Fate option. Doing this will flag your bloodthirsty. You must take replay storyline. And they will start you off with the storyline here.
Welcome to the Eternal City.
An agent of the Maw is attacking Oribos.
Okay.
Defend the Arbiter.
So we will carefully try to see our character.
How may I serve?
and then you have to do the storyline where it starts in Oribos as if you had just come out of the mall. So while the skip eliminates you having to run around in the mall and do all of the molly shit, it doesn't just drop you. It doesn't skip this stuff. You still have to do the Oribos part. So think of it as Khadgar's servant taking you around Shat, except the extended version. I don't know why they didn't skip all of this part, but I guess they still consider this part of the story? I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me to put the skip in but still drop you partway through it. Just my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad we don't have to deal with that fucking escort quest, because the damage on that was ridiculous at times. But it still is kind of weird. Alright, so we have to talk to her. And we'll turn that in. If it lets us. Hello? Internet? Thank you. I clicked it twice and nothing happened. Alright, living mortal, incredible. Forgive my astonishment. I am Cal Delin? All this time I'm still don't pay attention to how they pronounce her name. An overseer of the Arbiter's attendants here in the eternal city of Oribos. You stand within the heart of the Shadowlands, while we are accustomed to receiving the souls from all manner of worlds within the mortal realm. Never before has one arrived that is quite so corporeal. Corporal? No. Corporal. I am just going to speed through this part because I've done this
that the maw is unbreachable. That
numerous times at this point.
souls within were sealed away for all.
And we've done full playthroughs where we've gone through the mall entirely.
Mere moments ago, there
We have
was
to
a
listen to these guys.
at the
There's only
boundary
so
of the
much you can speed through this.
Then this mortal appeared.
But I've done full playthroughs on the channel where we've gone through the mall side of things. You can find those on the playlist on the YouTube channel. They should be archived over there on the All Things WoW Challenges, or All Things World of Warcraft. It's one of those. It might be All Things WoW Challenges playlist on my channel.
They may prove to be an agent of the
It is the Arbiter's place to judge souls,
And we've done
not ours.
We've done the skip a couple of times, we've done the whole shebang a couple of times.
Have I spoken? What news do you bring?
Blessed be her voice.
The voice of the Arbiter wishes you to join her in the chamber. Okay, I will join you. Let's go.
I pray the Arbiter will awaken in your presence, mortal.
Now, I don't know where the story goes from here. With the new patch that came in,
Trust in the purpose.
I don't know if a lot of people have fully seen it yet. Apparently there's some raid cutscenes, and I saw murmuring about
Ever silent.
some things. I don't know how many
When you arrived
people
in
know, so
Oribos,
I'm not gonna go
saw
into
the
full detail,
Arbiter's
but
for the first time in many cycles, it gave me hope that she would awaken and resume her blessed purpose.
you know, we'll see what happens with the next X-Pack announcement. I am on the X-Pack announcement speculation show
That I may
in April. When are we doing that? April 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4 Saturdays from now,
for
but
uncounted eons, the
Uh-oh.
Shadowlands
Oh,
was
okay.
in perfect
my preview went black and I was like, what did I just do on Twitch? And forgot that it did that when it loaded in the cutscene.
Speak, mortal.
Sorry, I did bounce out of the cutscene. We've seen it before.
Blessed be her.
Put the helmet on the damn table. And then we have this pointless cinematic of it going on the table. I'm sorry, I don't know if this really needed a cinematic, but I guess it was a way to introduce Bolvar with a bit of flair, maybe, I don't know. Nothing like stalking in with your flaming weapon into some situation you have no idea what you're walking into to freak everybody out.
Be at ease. I am Bolvar Forger.
Walking in like you own the place.
Are here to help.
The touch of the Maw is upon their souls as well. But if they found a way to break free of its influence,
Alright, let's come over here. We'll talk to Bolvar. This just gets old. This is like, what? Is this the 8th character that's done this now? Of mine? I'm just
I fear darker
like, okay now.
You seek to open a doorway back to the realm of the living. Oh dear. All of
We
this
have
is
to follow these two.
so many brokers arriving every day.
now, Karshare, be
While the
possible.
others are bickering in the background.
I suggest establishing your portals where you first arrived, just outside the city.
Alright, be very careful here. Make sure you know where the ground is. You don't want to fall to your doom.
I will listen.
In the portals, please.
I have opened countless portals in my lifetime, but never one that connected two planes of reality.
I thought death was the end of existence. Here,
Oh, now we have to go back.
is a power that
There was really
offers
no
new
point
beginnings.
in us having to follow them out here. Because it's not like we led them to the spots. They already knew where they were going. So it kind of feels like some of these quests could have been a little bit more streamlined and made to be, I don't know.
I have been instructed to assist you.
Some of them feel a little pointless. Now we have to go take our tour of the city. At least we don't have to follow the little elemental around like we did in chat, so we can kind of move at our own pace, but 2/3 of this are considered indoors, so we can't exactly mount to make this go a little bit faster. Which would have been lovely.
It would be my pleasure to help you. Death is the
Help with
ultimate
shapes, check.
transaction.
What's the next stop? The bank, I think. I'm like hardly ever in Ouroboros, so really haven't done much with my regular characters this expansion. Like, I got my gatherer to 60 first, so they could unlock the things that needed to be unlocked for the challenger and do some first looks at things. So I kind of knew what to expect, knew what was coming in certain areas. But after that, I was just kind of like, meh. Now, do be careful here, because you have to visit the Fate Scribe for this Tour of the City quest. However, you still have your quest sitting to talk to him to change from storyline to to World Quest, so be very careful how you speak to him.
The purpose reveals our way.
This option is the change to World Quest option. You don't want that. You want the what is this place? Leave the question mark alone. I know it can hurt, but we have to leave that shit be. Forever and eternity to bug the crap out of us with it sitting there. Because I keep feeling like, oh, I have something I never turned in, what? And I'll be like walking over there to turn it in, and I'm like, oh no, wait, I can't. So I tend not to come back into Oribos very often. Okay, and now we go back to where we came from. I haven't even been to the new zone yet.
And when she sundered the helm,
Don't know if I will be.
the sky above the citadel shadowed. The spire of an immense tower
Speak to
appeared
Tal.
beyond the veil.
You know,
Come
talk to
forth.
you.
Tell me, if the Moor's influence bleeds into your realm,
Now we have to listen
the
to
balance
her.
between life and death will be
Sylvanas
broken.
Windrunner sent her
All who hold
agents to
dear
As they talk over each other.
dark winged beings who caught them in chains and dragged them through the shattered sky.
The winged Kyrian of
That bugs me that they were talking over each other this far into the expansion.
The Shadowlands, but not with chains, and they are noble, untainted by the Maw.
True, but it would seem this is the only clue our mortal friend has to follow. It falls to us to open the way for them.
Overseer Kasher, take this mortal to the Ring of
That
Transference.
just feels like something that should have been
Use our
polished out in beta.
energies to open a pathway to Bastion.
But honored voice, we have so little anima in our reserves. Surely we should be more.
See it done, Kasher. With her voice have I spoken.
He gets put in his place. Oh, they're waiting on us to do something now.
Watches over. Come, mortal. I will show
The one time I jumped the shark and went up to wait for him. He never came up and the quest bugged, so... Because I think you have to click on him or something, or you have to wait for him to walk to the pad. I can see that mount making you feel seasick.
Here, mortal. This teleporter will convey you to the Ring of Transference.
Okay, so yeah, like it has to check off that he's talked to you at it or some shit. Alright.
What do you seek, mortal?
And open the
Please
gateway.
keep our corridor. We have precious little anima to spare.
And then he like gets all these digs in at you about, oh, we shouldn't be doing this. We don't have much of this to spare. But because they said this, to save the stuff will help you begrudgingly.
Have been dormant for some time.
He's kind of a dick.
Will be unexpected.
Like in that snide, pissy kind of way. Now, make sure you talk to him first. I will tag the flight path for out here. Then do this. So that way you have something to fly back to. Especially if you didn't set your Hearthstone to here. I'm not going to set my Hearthstone to here. I'm going to set it to one of our inns out there. Alright, and we're going to finish up our quest line here. So, Path to Bastion, and then seek the Ascended is our last quest that we are allowed to do. So we will hop on the flight point and they will send us through the gateway into Bastion. I am going to put up a warning for those that are light, flash, strobe sensitive. You may want to look away until I say we have landed, or until I say it's clear, because this whole gateway is kind of a bit much. Like, it actually gave me a migraine the one day, so I'm not going to be looking directly at it, but I will notice when we are through it. So that's going to start the second we go in here. This light's going to strobe around us, or turn around us, and then there's like wind and stuff, so it's a lot. It's not real flashy, but alright, we are out of there. For those that are light sensitive, that's still a lot. Alright, so we have landed. And then we talk to Clea. We turn this in. And no more quests. She has to sit there holding that quest. We are done. We are now on to grinding things and stuff. And I'm just gonna take us over to Ascendant's Rest. And that is where we will be parking our butt for the time being, until I head out to grind again. I'll probably start working on her sometime tomorrow. Probably. Remember, watch your rares out here. They are deadly. Rares out here are a whole new ball game, and they may count as a quest being completed. I don't know. Just, you're better off leaving them alone. And it looks kind of busy. Like, I don't see any of our normal mobs we go after in here. There's like one, so tough time to be out here grinding at the moment. Looks pretty busy. Alright, so we're gonna grab our flight point here. Oh, and then we're gonna go and set our Hearthstone right now while we're thinking about it. So we really don't want to hearth back to Hatherford. That would be a fucking disaster.
Return soon. There is much
Alright, and we're gonna make sure that we are getting rested here. Let's pop off of our mounts so we don't annoy anyone. And that's gonna do it for today. So, let's see who we can raid here. Oh, it looks like Zortz is still streaming, so we'll go say hi to him.
Power washing.
He's probably gonna be wrapping up shortly, but...
Well, then he'll send everybody else along to the next one. What goes around comes around.
So, you all have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I will see you tomorrow for Parkitect. Until next time, have a good one.